Hello. This time, our protagonist is Itch, who got into an argument with a McDonald's employee and ended up going home crying. What caused the argument? What was so important that it made him cry? Enjoy the bizarre principles and demands of Itch, which are beyond the comprehension of ordinary people.
I got into a fight with a McDonald's employee and went home crying. I don't think I was wrong. Let me tell you what happened. Since my discount coupon was about to expire, I went to use it. As usual, I ordered the Samurai Double Thick Mac with 3 extra tomato slices, but they told me they couldn't add tomatoes. I insisted it should be possible, but they kept saying, "No, we can't." I had no choice but to ask for another employee, but they told me the service ended yesterday. There's no notice about that anywhere, and I can't accept that. I almost yelled, but since I'm an adult, I held back and left the store. Not only was there no notice in the store, but I also checked the website and app. Nothing was mentioned anywhere. I felt mocked and lied to. I couldn't calm my anger, but after asking in another thread earlier, it seems it's true that the service ended yesterday. But even if that's true, how can anyone be expected to believe it when there's no notice anywhere? The biggest problem is the complete lack of communication. And I can't stand their condescending tone either.
Are tomatoes really that important?
Yes, they are. The Samurai Double Thick Mac is too rich, so adding 3 tomato slices makes it just right. My routine was Samurai Double Thick Mac plus 3 tomato slices for lunch and Double Big Mac plus 3 tomato slices for dinner. But then they suddenly say, "It ended yesterday," with that mocking tone, and there's no notice anywhere. None of this is acceptable. Even if it's true, as some posts on X claim, don't you think it's absurd? They should have posted a proper notice in the store and on the website.
Stop making a fuss over something as trivial as tomatoes.
They waste money on pointless ads and keep raising prices, but they can't even bother to announce important changes? That's a problem with the company. It's clear they don't care about customers at all. I'm so mad I never want to go back, but I still have discount coupons left, so I'm torn about what to do.
The bacon tomato beef was available until March 25th. Today is March 26th. Tough luck.
They didn't just say, "We can't do tomatoes." They probably said, "We sincerely apologize, but tomatoes are no longer available, right?"
They said, "We can't do it," and I replied, "No, you can." They still refused, so I asked for another employee, who just repeated, "The tomatoes ended yesterday." I kept insisting, "No, you should be able to do it," but they just said, "Nope, it ended yesterday," in this dismissive way.
I get that being told, "We can't," coldly would hurt, but the employee probably handled it more professionally, right?
Why are you making me sound like a liar? I've been saying this the whole time. The first employee just kept repeating, "We can't," and the other one said, "It ended yesterday," in this tone like they couldn't care less. There was no apology. Just this attitude like, "Why are you making such a fuss over tomatoes?" I felt mocked.
Well, you were being persistent over tomatoes. That's just a fact.
Maybe the employee's attitude was bad, but you should have just let it go.
I get how it feels, but the employees are just part-timers. They probably just thought, "What a pain."
If you're going to be angry, call McDonald's HQ. Yelling at part-time staff won't accomplish anything.
You lost. It's over. It's written right there.
Where does it say that? Sure, it mentioned the Samurai Mac was updated, but nothing about tomatoes. I'm a shareholder, you know. They sent me discount coupons expiring on March 31st, and when I tried to use them as usual, they suddenly say, "It ended yesterday." The employee's attitude was unacceptable, but the real issue is the company's lack of transparency. At the very least, they should have kept tomato toppings available until March 31st for coupon users and announced, "Tomato toppings will no longer be available with the new coupons." Even if it was buried in small print on the website, no one reads that. Changing the rules mid-period is disrespectful to shareholders, and as a company, it's just wrong.
Then just stop being a shareholder?
How can anyone believe it ended yesterday out of nowhere? If it's true, they should have announced it much earlier.
The McDonald's staff were the worst. If you'd made a scene or caused trouble, they could have banned you and been done with it.
If you want custom orders, maybe use mobile ordering. Verbal requests just confuse the staff, but mobile orders leave a record and make it easier for them.
Discount coupons can't be used with mobile orders. You have to order in person at the counter.
Discount coupons are pretty inconvenient, huh?
This seems like the bigger issue here.
I'm kinda jealous. As an adult, even getting angry feels like too much effort. It's nice you still have the passion to care.
It seems like the type who always causes trouble at that store.
The moment you insisted the website didn't mention it, you already lost.
You love McDonald's enough to buy their stock, but you don't check their website.
I became a shareholder for the discount coupons. My routine for years has been Samurai Double Thick plus 3 tomato slices for lunch and Double Big Mac plus 3 tomato slices for dinner. It's a habit. I don't scour the website for fine print. And when I got home, I checked the website and app, nothing was mentioned. That's just insincere, and that's what I'm mad about.
Maybe you should question why you missed what the rest of us found easily on the website.
Why wasn't there a notice in the store? And when I said I couldn't believe it ended yesterday, so we can't do it today, the employee could have shown me the page or something. That would have softened the blow. Instead, they acted like, "Why are you so hung up on tomatoes?" That's why I'm angry.
Why couldn't you just drop it? The employees obviously know more than you.
This is a prime example of how people refuse to take responsibility these days.
If you love tomatoes so much, buy some at the supermarket and add them yourself.
It's weird someone this dumb has enough money to buy stocks for discount coupons.
If you're mad at McDonald's, just sell all your shares.
Did you end up not eating anything and just leaving?
Yeah, I was so mad I almost yelled, but I left because I knew that'd be bad. Just to be clear, I didn't actually yell. What I can't accept is why it had to end yesterday instead of today. I get that the menu item using tomatoes ended on March 25th, but the discount coupons expire on March 31st. Since tomato toppings were available until now, they should have kept them for coupon users until the 31st. That's what a proper company would do. Then, with the new coupons, they could have announced, tomato toppings are no longer available, and everyone would have accepted it. But suddenly cutting it off mid-period is the real problem.
This guy's incredible. He absolutely refuses to admit he's wrong. The epitome of a complainer.
Since so many of you don't get it, let me explain. Tomato toppings weren't introduced because of the Samurai Mac, which had tomatoes. They existed long before that menu item. For longtime coupon users, the discontinuation of the Samurai Mac and the end of tomato toppings are unrelated. Tomato toppings weren't introduced because of the Samurai Mac, which had tomatoes. They existed long before that menu item. For longtime coupon users, the discontinuation of the Samurai Mac and the end of tomato toppings are unrelated. If tomato toppings were introduced alongside the Samurai Mac, then ending both at the same time would make sense. But that's not the case. Tomato toppings existed independently. So suddenly being told, tomato toppings ended yesterday, at this timing makes no sense. Tomato toppings seem like a service specifically for shareholders using discount coupons. So regardless of the Samurai Mac ending on March 25th, they should have kept tomato toppings available until the coupon expiration on March 31st. I'm tired of explaining, but am I wrong here?
Listing reasons why you're not wrong after the fact doesn't change that you failed to explain this up front. That's on you.
If it's gone, just order something else. Why are you so stubborn?
If they'd said, tomatoes are ending on April 1st, I'd have accepted it. But being told, it ended yesterday, so no today, out of nowhere. How can anyone just say, oh, okay, to that?
I'd accept it. Coupon expiration and menu changes are unrelated.
The company decides when to end things. There's nothing weird about it. You're the odd one for going right after the cutoff.
I'm exhausted. By the way, this really happened. I'm still not satisfied, but I've given up. I don't get why I'm being treated like the bad guy here. Arguing here won't help. So if I'm still mad tomorrow, I'll call HQ and complain. Isn't this unfair?
Of course, it's a true story. They just told you they couldn't do something they couldn't do. Nothing unbelievable happened.
Go apologize to the employee. Otherwise, I won't forgive you.
You seem really obsessive.
McDonald's always promotes new things loudly but ends them quietly. Didn't you know that?
Such passion for tomatoes.
After thinking it over, I still don't think I did anything wrong. If I feel like it, I'll contact McDonald's HQ later or tomorrow. Just to clarify, I didn't yell at the employee. I left before it got to that point. If I'd yelled, I'd be the bad guy, but all that happened was a long argument. Don't misunderstand, it wasn't a fight.
That's straight up obstruction of business.
Calling it just a long argument is sugarcoating. Even a few minutes of back and forth is disruptive.
One last thing longtime coupon users all thought. Tomato toppings were a shareholder perk, not tied to any specific menu item. You wouldn't know, but this is a fact. Given that, being suddenly told, it ended yesterday, would leave most shareholders baffled. No one would just accept it on the spot. Tomato toppings and discount coupons were practically a said deal. If they'd ended on March 31st, fine. But being told, yesterday was the last day, when I went on the 26th? Unacceptable. It's not the employee's fault. It's McDonald's corporate system that's the problem.
How many times are you going to repeat this?
No matter how many times you say it, it's still unconvincing.
We'll never accept your argument either.
You keep insisting there was no notice when it suddenly ended, but judging from your posts, you're just incredibly stubborn.
You're stating completely unreasonable things as if they're obvious.
I worry if your stubbornness causes similar problems at work.
A coworker who's also a McDonald's shareholder confirmed they got a line in X notification on the 18th about the topping ending.
So either you don't follow the official accounts as a shareholder, or you missed the notice like you did with the website.
I use Line, but there's no shareholder account, and I don't use X. So this notification story is 100% false. Don't lie about something so easily disproven. There's no shareholder Line or X account, so the idea of a shareholder notification is impossible. I've lost my appetite, but I still have coupons left, so I'll use them for a double Big Mac or double cheeseburger. But this incident showed me how insincere the company is. I don't even want to think about it anymore. I'll just use the coupons tonight and forget it.
Normally, this would end with, "It ended yesterday. Oh, my bad, I didn't know," and that's it.
You're just a complainer.
I wish I could live a life where McDonald's could make me this happy or angry.
There was a notice saying it'd end on the 25th, but you missed it. Then you went on the 26th, got told, no, and blew up. I don't get you.
Why do tomatoes make you this angry?
A passionate fool who burns with tomato-fueled rage, turning as red as one while genuinely furious. Even when no one understood, he tirelessly repeated himself, oblivious to the flaws in his logic. Some people just can't stop insisting they're right, huh? As one forum user said, he probably sucks at his job too. This was a good reminder to self-reflect. If you ever feel like no one's listening, check if your argument makes sense. Thanks to this fool, we've all learned something today. We'll keep uncovering Japan's hidden truths, so remember to subscribe, like, and donate. See you in the next video. Bye.